You need lots of coffee for Napa Valley. You got to keep going.
And you're gonna need that breakfast sandwich before you start tasting wine.
That is key.
Hi, I'm Brian Phillips, Advanced Sommelier for the Capitol Grill. I'm here in wine country to introduce you to the wines of Duckhorn, which we're featuring in the Generous Pour Summer Wine event. Along the way, we might stop for a detour or two.
So buckle up and join me on our wine adventure.
Dan and Margaret Duckhorn created a soaring legacy of world-class wines that spans from the Napa Valley to Washington State. Their vision to bring the winemaking techniques of Bordeaux to Napa Valley quickly established Duckhorn's reputation for quality wines. The 7 wines featured in the Generous Pour are all created by Dan Duckhorn and his award-winning winemakers. So today I'm heading to Napa Valley.
My favorite way to get to wine country is over the Golden Gate Bridge.
I'm excited to meet up with the winemakers from Duckhorn, Paradox, and Canvasback. And I'll visit a cooperage to learn how wine barrels are made. But first, I'm stopping at Oakville Grocery to meet influencer Kelly Mitchell, the wine siren, to talk about Napa Valley.
You've lived through the recent devastating fires here in wine country. How are things now?
It did get very scary for a little while, but we've recovered completely. So we really need people to come back to Napa Valley.
The hills are green, back to business.
It's a rebirth.
Brian Rudine is a Washington State native who is based in the unique Red Mountain growing region in eastern Washington.
So what makes the barrel so important in influencing this wine?
Oak barrels will impart flavor to a wine. So when you smell baking spices, that's all coming from the barrel. But there's also a huge textural component. And so barrels really improve the texture of wine by making it feel richer and rounder. They're about shape.
Beautiful wine.
Thank you.
Next, I'm heading to Seguin, Moreau, where they've been making wine barrels for nearly 2 centuries. Douglas, a 4th-generation master cooper, showed me how the barrels are made. The amount of charring in the barrel determine what flavors will develop in the wine. There's a lot of handcrafting that goes into making these barrels.
Douglas, thank you so much for showing us around. That was excellent.
No problem, Brian. We would like to present this to you and wish you all the best with your event.
Beautiful. Thank you. This is amazing.
Welcome.
Duckhorn's award-winning winemaker, Renee Airy, uses her gifted palate to consistently produce masterful wines.
Can you speak to some of the characteristics that define this Cabernet?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to Dan and Margaret's vision that started 40 years ago of really wanting to make classic, balanced, food-friendly wines that show a sense of place. And we want that to come through in the wine. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that we will blend over 50 different individual lots into our Napa Valley Cabernet. And really that allows for those layers and complexity to come through in the wine.
Yeah, so really in the end, it just defines a very iconic style of Napa Valley Cabernet.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you.
When it comes to winemaking and blending at Paradox, Don Laborde is breaking all the rules.
So Don, what is the single greatest advantage of producing a blend versus a single varietal wine?
To me, the advantage of making a blend is being able to make a more complex and more complete wine. Our blend is a Cabernet-based blend, 50 to 55% every year, and then we sprinkle other varieties in there like Petit Verdot for structure and tannin, Merlot and Zinfandel for fruit and spice.
So you're not blending by what we would call the traditional rules as a Bordeaux blend?
Absolutely not. We don't like to follow rules.
Hey Renee.
Hey Brian, that looks fantastic.
Got a beautiful porterhouse here.
Classic pairing for our Cabernet.
All right, let's do it.
Excellent.
Thank you all very much for hosting us. Napa Valley's been beautiful, great experience. Here's to great food, great wines, good times, and all of them combined. Cheers.
Cheers, man.